From the Intellifluence headquarters in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, this is the Intellifluence Influencer Spotlight. In each episode, we sit down with an influencer from our network and we discuss their background as well as their unique approach to influencer marketing. Tanks Encyclopedia is a resource that aims to become one of the first online tank museums. The site presents the tactics, battles, technology, and evolution of tanks and armored vehicles worldwide from their origin through World War I, World War II, the Cold War, and contemporary conflicts. Tanks Encyclopedia is currently comprised of more than 30 active writers, illustrators, and team members. You can learn more at tanks-encyclopedia.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Let's kick it off. So, can you give us the brief history on Tanks Encyclopedia, including how it got started?
Tanks Encyclopedia is a website about armored fighting vehicles from the whole planet since they got started. Actually, the first vehicle we have found designed, scribbled, is 1855. There weren't even cars, there weren't even combustion engines, and people were already thinking of doing war-y stuff. They had steam engines back then. The website is now 7 or 8 years old. It was started by David Bocquelet, who is our main illustrator. He started it as a search engine optimization test and a place to put his amazing illustrations on. I came on a year after that and offered to help him with his English and with his articles, doing some proofreading. And since then, the team has ballooned. We're currently, I think, 30 or 40 people doing writing of articles, editing, illustrations, colorizations, 3D models, YouTube videos, social media, whatever we could. We're actually doing a magazine right now, which second number should be coming out next month. So yeah, we've expanded a lot, and basically the project took a life of its own from a point onwards.
Wow, yeah, because I'm reading the bio, you talk about how your aim is to become the first online tank museum, like an all-encompassing.
That would be a long-term idea. We played actually with the idea of having a 3D viewer, of basically being able to go around some models, but that requires a lot more effort than we can currently put into. That's a long-term plan, but yeah, that would be awesome to do at some point and to properly do. Currently, we're just focusing on articles, so just researching and writing and showing the world, look what we found.
That's wonderful. And what's your role within the site?
I'm basically the guy who keeps the trains on time. I connect with everybody and make sure everybody coordinates to a point. Because we don't have a hard power scheme. We're all volunteers. We all work in our free time, when we want, if we want, on what we want. I'm basically just keeping in touch with everyone and making sure we're not overlapping, that we're working together on what we can work together, and that everything that is vital functions. So, for example, we publish 3 times a week, and I work with the team to make sure we have what to publish every every time. I make sure we get everything on social media and all that kind of stuff. I'm basically behind the scenes. You don't see me. If you see me, I'm doing the firefighting role. Something has gone wrong and I have to fix it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right. And have you partnered with any brands thus far? And can you tell us about how these brand partnerships work?
We have on YouTube, we have a modeling series. Basically, one of our members is doing model kits, and we have received some companies sent us some models to do for them, and of course we're telling that it's from them. Thank you very much for offering. We'll still tell you if something's wrong. We're not selling our soul to the brand. We've worked with Italeri and I think IBG models. Until now, we are talking with a couple more companies. We have also discussed ad partnerships with some gaming companies, with a museum, with the Bovington Tank Museum, which is I think one of the biggest in the world. And we also have a lot of our authors are also published book authors. So we advertise their books. We say, look, this guy works for us. You know his articles; they're free. You can read them. He made this book. Maybe you're interested. Have a look. And yeah, indeed, working with publishers, book publishers as well. This is mostly the area we can work in: museums, publishers, gaming companies, and model kit publishers, I guess.
That's wonderful. And who's your target demographic? I know that might be broad. Like, what is it? Like historians? People interested just in tanks in general, or how does that?
No, so we're not very high level. Again, we're all amateurs. There's a couple of us who are actual historians. There's a couple of us who are book authors. But the idea is accessibility to a large degree. So when an article goes through editing, you will get weird terms or very specific terms at time. And every time an editor will say, "What is this?" So Common Joe who comes and reads our article will see that this tank had a mantlet. What is a mantlet? Tell me, show me, put a picture, say something so that this average Joe can know what we are talking about. We don't want to talk only to specialists or only to historians, because then we'd have probably zero audience. We're talking to everyone who's interested in tanks and warfare in general and just history. Or just people who want to come in and see the pretty pictures. That's also an option.
Yeah, I was taking a look. It's fascinating, and I'm always fascinated too about the stories of the people that have fought in those wars. Like this, still some World War II and beyond. Have you had a chance to interview people for the site for that? People who have fought in these alongside these tanks?
We have had veterans come and leave comments. We have contacted them back because they sometimes come with some very interesting information, and we want to find out more. There's some things so there are vehicles for which there's not that much published, or there's just some things you can't find out except if you've worked with that thing. Okay, there's some peculiarities that just don't get in the writing. So we often went after veterans and try to talk to them. We haven't done interviews per se until now. I don't know if we're considering it, but basically any sort of this side project, it has to have someone volunteer for it and just push it along, because if you just start something and leave it in such a project, it's useless.
Okay. Well, and you mentioned how you have a long-term goal of the Tanks Museum, but do you have any goals for the site as it pertains to influencer marketing or goals for growth in general?
We would like to develop up to a point into basically a place on which we would review kids, games, books, movies. Tell people, look, this is good, but it's inaccurately from a historical point of view. This is historically accurate, but completely boring. This is amazing. So stuff like this would be our goal up to a point, because there's a lot of interest. So for example, interest in tanks in the last 10 years has been massively driven by games. So there's games like World of Tanks, War Thunder, Armored Warfare. There's a lot of games that come and have tanks, and you'll have people that join one of these games, play with a tank, and then they want to find out more. And usually they just go and Google, and we're second or third result. And yeah, we like to talk to these people and tell them, oh, you like that? Here's something else that's interesting for you, or here's some information you might be interested in. And yeah, grow in that direction. I think we are playing with the idea of becoming a book publisher ourselves at some point, but that's really far off. Otherwise, that would be our plan as you said, as influencers. But yeah, basic idea is at the end of the day, being historical is the end game. Everything is a bonus.
Want to join Intellifluence as an influencer for free? It's easy. Visit Intellifluence.com, click on the influencers link, and then click on the Join for Free button to sign up. Once you have registered, you will get immediate access to our influencer marketplace where you can browse relevant offers from brands and apply on the spot. You'll also be eligible to receive attractive product and service pitches from brands. There's absolutely no cost to join as an influencer, so we hope you take advantage of our service. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and well, you know the drill. Until our next episode, keep being awesome.